And I know you're not a state lawmaker, but maybe you can address it since Vincent Leibell is in here. It's $18 million it translates to. What role, if any, will the federal stimulus monies coming to New York play in possibly putting it back into the budget? Would that ease the pain if it were?
Well, you know, I looked through that stimulus, but I didn't see anything for libraries. I saw a lot of stuff that shouldn't be in there, but I didn't see anything about libraries. So I can't answer the federal stimulus thing, but when I spoke to Vinny, as I said, on the way down here, and I spoke to him last week about this. He called me pretty much hours after the librarians had left. They were up there lobbying in Albany. I guess it was last Thursday? Tuesday. And he told me this is an important issue, and he said that there was pretty much some consensus, but his concern is at the 11th hour when all the horse trading goes on, that somehow this might fall through the cracks and people will forget that they pledged to restore this $18 million. So he's cautiously optimistic that it can get restored, but obviously it makes the case easier for him or any of our other legislators who may be there championing the libraries to be able to say there's a real public outcry for it. So hopefully when the word gets out here, people may not have time to sign this petition, but anybody listening to your radio station or reading in the paper, they can certainly call their state representatives over the next 2 weeks and say we want this money restored to the libraries. I hope did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay,
It did.
thanks.
What is the current fiscal year, the WLS budget?
It's a calendar year, same as...
Yeah, but what is the total system-wide?
System-wide? Well, within WLS, our annual budget is approximately $6 million.
So that's why 400,000 is a big hit. That's about 8%, 9% of the budget.
Big question, what happens if it's not? What if it does fall through the cracks? What do
Then-
the libraries do in this time of year?
Well, the only thing I could do is pledge it. I would do my best to see if the county can find a way to backfill some of that money. But, you know, $400,000 in the county budget is a lot of money. It's a lot more, $400,000 is a lot more to Westchester County than $18 million is to the whole state of New York.
I think one of the challenges here is, sort of the scenario role playing. I mean, certainly trying to think of what some of the options would be, trying to work with the member libraries to clarify what the priorities are. Should there have to be cuts, let's make sure we do as little damage as possible. I think one of the bigger questions is that ripple effect, though. If it starts out that, okay, it's WLS this year, but then each year will each member library be facing their own financial restrictions. And it's sort of the cumulative effect that is really one of the big fears for me.
How does the funding work? How does it divvy up between all branches and all throughout the county?
Well, the WLS funding comes from state, county, and from member fees that each library pays to WLS to a member. Each individual library has its own source of funding.
So there's multiple sources.
It's hard to challenge.
John C. Hart, I know it's Yonkers is the largest White Plains library. Where does that fall in terms of the size? I mean, certainly if you-
We're the fifth largest library
fifth.
in Westchester, right? Yeah. And in 2007, the last year we have complete statistics, we were the third busiest library in Westchester.
Wow.
Not surprised.
All those people borrowing all those books and DVDs and CDs, they're just running around all county.
That's why Hollywood Video's out of business, I guess. Any other questions? Anybody in the audience here have a question? No? Okay, let me just, I'll wrap it up unless you want to add anything else, Terry. Well, I want to thank Terry, Pam, Beth, Elizabeth, Pat, and Jill for all being here, representing their libraries and representing all the librarians. I also want to just take a moment to thank Sybil Kanan, who is the director at the Field Library, who was the first librarian I spoke to and kind of helped put a lot of this together. Fortunately or unfortunately, she's on her way to Florida today, so couldn't be here today. But I want to thank all of you for coming out here, and I want to urge the public and hopefully the media to put the word out there that these petitions are available, and if you can come in and sign the petition, that's great, but you can, even if you sign the petition, call your state representatives in this area it will either be Assemblyman Greg Ball or Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff, or maybe even Adam Bradley, depending what part of the northern part of the county you live in, and it's obviously State Senator Leibell for the northern part of Westchester. So with that, I think we're going to conclude, and I thank everybody for coming today. Thanks.
Thank you, George.
Okay.
Here we go.
Say hi to the folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.